Your life today is essentially the sum of your habits. What you repeatedly do each day ultimately forms the person you are, the things you believe, and the results you enjoy. But what exactly is a habit? It's a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. Think about brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. You don't consciously think through every step, your brain simply runs the program. This automation is your brain's way of saving energy. It creates shortcuts for frequent actions, freeing up your mind to focus on new challenges and solve novel problems. These shortcuts are incredibly efficient, but they can work for you or against you. At the core of every habit is a simple three-step neurological pattern that scientists call the habit loop. This loop consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is the trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode and which habit to use. This could be a time of day, a specific location, an emotional state, or the presence of certain people. The routine is the behavior itself, the action you take. It can be physical, like reaching for a cookie, or emotional, like feeling a wave of anxiety. Finally, the reward is what satisfies your brain and tells it that this particular loop is worth remembering for the future. Let's consider a common modern habit, checking your phone. The cue might be the sound of a notification, or it could be something more subtle like a moment of boredom or a feeling of social uncertainty. The routine is to pick up your phone, unlock it, and start scrolling through social media, emails, or news feeds. The reward is a small hit of dopamine, a feeling of connection, a distraction from an uncomfortable thought, or the satisfaction of finding a piece of new information. Every time you complete this loop, the connection between the cue and the routine becomes stronger. Your brain learns that when boredom strikes, scrolling is the answer. This process of reinforcement is powerful. The more you repeat a habit, the more deeply embedded it becomes in your neural pathways. The cue and routine become so tightly linked that the urge to act becomes almost irresistible. This is why habits are not just choices. They are automated behaviors that your brain performs without your full consent. Understanding this loop is the first and most critical step toward regaining control. You cannot change a habit if you don't understand how it works. By dissecting your behaviors into these three parts, you can begin to see the hidden forces that drive your daily actions and start to consciously design better ones. To change a habit, you must first become aware of it. Many of our most powerful habits operate in the background, guiding our actions without our conscious permission. The first practical step, therefore, is to identify the components of the habit you wish to change. Start by choosing one specific habit, for example, snacking on junk food every afternoon. The routine is obvious, eating the unhealthy snack, but what are the cue and the reward? You need to become a detective in your own life. For a few days, whenever you feel the urge to perform the habit, pause and ask yourself a few questions to pinpoint the cue. What time is it? Where are you? Who else is around? What emotion are you feeling? What action immediately preceded the urge? After a few days of observation, you might notice a pattern. Perhaps the urge to snack doesn't strike because you are hungry, but because it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you are feeling a slump in your energy levels at your desk. The cue in this case is not hunger but a drop in focus and a feeling of boredom associated with a specific time and place. This awareness is a game changer because you realize the problem isn't a lack of willpower, it's a programmed response to a specific trigger. Next, you need to experiment to understand the true reward your brain is seeking. The reward is often not what it seems on the surface. When you eat that bag of chips, is the reward the salty taste? Or is it the temporary distraction from a difficult task? Is it the quick burst of energy from the sugar? Or is it the chance to get up from your desk and socialize with coworkers in the kitchen? Try experimenting with different actions when the cue hits. One day, instead of snacking, try stretching for 5 minutes. The next day, chat with a colleague. The day after, have a cup of tea. If, after stretching and walking around, the craving disappears, then the reward you were seeking was likely a break from work and a bit of movement, not the food itself. This process of elimination helps you isolate the craving that truly drives your routine. You thought you were craving chips, but you were actually craving a moment of relief from mental fatigue. Once you have identified the real cue, 3 o'clock slump, and the real reward, a mental break, you have the blueprint you need to redesign the habit. You can now work on finding a better routine that delivers the same reward when the cue appears. The golden rule of habit change is this: you can't easily eliminate a bad habit, but you can replace it. Your brain's wiring for the old cue and reward is already established, so trying to resist the urge through sheer force of will is often a losing battle. A far more effective strategy is to keep the cue and the reward the same, but to consciously insert a new, more positive routine. You are not fighting the old loop, you are building a new pathway for it to follow. This approach works with your brain's natural tendencies instead of against them, making change feel less like a struggle and more like a simple substitution. Let's return to our afternoon snacking example. The cue is the 3 o'clock energy slump at your desk. The reward you crave is a mental break and a change of pace. Your old unhealthy routine was to eat junk food. Now, you need to choose a new routine that provides the same reward. You could plan to do a 5-minute walk around the office, stretch at your desk, listen to one of your favorite upbeat songs on headphones, or have a brief enjoyable conversation with a coworker. The key is that the new routine must be easy to do and must genuinely satisfy the craving for a break. To make the new routine easier to adopt, you can change your environment to make the old habit harder and the new one easier. This is called habit design. If you want to stop snacking on junk food, don't keep it in the house or your desk drawer. Instead, place a water bottle on your desk or keep a pair of walking shoes visible. By increasing the friction associated with the bad habit and decreasing the friction for the good one, you nudge yourself toward the better choice. You are no longer relying on motivation or willpower in the moment. You are making the desired behavior the path of least resistance. Similarly, if your bad habit is mindlessly checking your phone whenever you're bored, identify the reward you seek. Perhaps it's a moment of mental stimulation. Your new routine could be to read one page of a book you keep on your desk, solve a puzzle, or do a few deep breathing exercises. To make this stick, make your phone less accessible. Move distracting apps off your home screen, put your phone in another room, or turn off notifications. By consciously choosing a replacement routine and designing your environment for success, you begin to overwrite the old automatic behavior. Each time you successfully complete the new loop, you strengthen it. Building a new habit is a process, not an event. It takes time for the new routine to become as automatic as the old one. To ensure your new habits stick for the long term, it's helpful to use clear and actionable frameworks. One of the most effective is setting SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of a vague goal like be healthier, you create a new habit plan. When I feel my energy slump at 3 o'clock at my desk, the cue, I will walk to the water cooler and back for 5 minutes, the new routine, to get the mental break I need, the reward. This plan is clear and leaves no room for ambiguity. Reinforcement is also crucial for making a new habit stick. While the new routine should ideally deliver the inherent reward you were craving, adding a small, immediate celebration can help solidify the behavior in your brain. After you complete your 5-minute walk, instead of eating chips, give yourself a mental pat on the back. Say to yourself, "Good job." This small act of self-acknowledgement reinforces the idea that the new behavior is positive and worth repeating. It creates a positive feedback loop that accelerates the habit formation process, making you more likely to stick with it the next day. Consistency is more important than perfection. You will have days when you slip up and fall back into your old routine. This is normal and expected. The key is to not let one mistake derail your progress. Don't fall into the all-or-nothing trap. If you miss one day, just make sure you get back on track with the very next opportunity. The rule is to never miss twice. One mistake is an outlier. 2 mistakes is the beginning of a new habit. The most lasting change comes from people who can get back on track quickly after a failure, not from those who never fail at all. Ultimately, the most powerful habits are those that align with your identity. The goal is not just to perform a new action but to become a new type of person. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to eat healthy," you start to believe, "I am a healthy person." Each time you choose a walk over a snack, you are casting a vote for this new identity. You are providing evidence to yourself that you are the kind of person who takes care of their body and mind. This shift in identity is what makes a habit truly permanent. You are no longer just changing your actions. You are transforming who you are, one small atomic habit at a time.